Great. Thank you very much, Ian. Morning, everyone. As Ian mentioned, I'm one of the partners in the corporate finance team. Typically, I work with businesses in the technology and media sectors, and I'm part of the corporate finance team at Kingston, which is a team of 15 of us that cover all sectors and advise businesses, particularly looking to make acquisitions, do fundraising, or in this case, looking to sell. And advance the sale process, as Ian mentioned, we help businesses building and preparing for exit, and so that's what I'm going to focus on for the next 5 or 10 minutes. So I'm sure you're all aware that selling a business is a lot more nuanced than just putting up a for sale sign outside and naming the price. There's a lot of work that can be done in advance of going to market. And probably the most frustrating thing for us as advisors is when a business comes to us and says they want to sell in a couple of months' time. There's actually always work that can be done, whether that's around documentation or more importantly around about building value and minimising risks to potential acquirers, and that's very much what we're going to focus on. So in general, our work focuses around 2 areas, and that's around price and saleability, and they're both very much interlinked to a certain extent. Firstly, the price. The price is made up of 2 areas, typically earnings, which in a lot of cases is EBITDA, or it could be another earnings metrics, as well as multiple. We're going to come on to but that's one we actively focus on. But the second area we focus on is around saleability. Your business can be as profitable as you like, but if nobody will buy it, then it isn't going to be worth anything on the open market. So it's worth considering both of those factors in combination, as the exit route isn't always a trade sale. Sorry, Sean, is it okay if you click through? I think I hadn't realised there's a few. If you could click it till PMC, perfect. Thank you very much. So, thanks. So this slide illustrates both of those points. When we work with companies, we focus on the drivers of enterprise value. We generally focus on 10 key areas, which in this example are rated according to a traffic light system. And these are the areas that, in our experience, are the key areas which drive business performance. So the 10 areas in turn. So number 1, is there any client concentration? That's clearly going to be that's a risk factor for potential acquirers. Income security and quality. How much in the future is secured? Value proposition and brands. Does the business have a clear, compelling, and unique value proposition? Sales and marketing process. Is your processes scalable? Are they effective? And importantly, for valuation, can they be rolled out across a broader market if you've got more resources behind you? A key one when we're dealing with owner managed businesses, which is a large portion of our client base, is owner reliant. So it's how much reliance is there on the owners of the business, and this will be a key area that acquirers will be looking at as it will be a big risk factor for them that will both impact multiple and also saleability. Quite a linked point is the management team. It's a second tier team. How capable and committed are they? Are they going to be the people that can help drive the business post acquisition and potentially through an earn out if there is one in a transaction? Ian touched on this earlier. Management information. Does it allow decisions to be made? Is the information readily available? And through a sales process, what you want that information to be at your fingertips, so you can reassure the buyer there's going to be no surprises further down the line, because risks and surprises always lead to leads to price shifts. The next area is smart objectives. So is there a detailed business plan in place with measured outcomes? And finally, get into the more of the numerical metrics, the profit performance. Is there a consistent profit performance with strong growth metrics? And then the final point is very linked to saleability, and that's the buyer pool. Do you have a strong pool of buyers who will purchase you, or is your are your potential buyers going to be conflicted by your clients? So if for instance you operate for 2 or 3 companies who are competitors, then if one of those companies bought you, would you lose the remainder of your revenue? And so that then converts into what we perceive to be the enterprise value. So the 3 examples here, we've got company A on the left, which has got majority of their enterprise value drivers. They score relatively poorly, so reds and oranges, and we're saying even though they make in this example just over £1 million of profit, we're saying because they perform badly on those enterprise value drivers, they aren't worth anything on the open market. And I appreciate that's a slightly tenuous example, but I think it illustrates that it's more than just profitability. Company B performs better, more sort of reds and ambers, does half as much profit, but those enterprise value drivers in combination lead to a multiple of 2, and so an enterprise value of 1.2 million. And then company C, even though the profitability wise it's the same as company B, it performs exceptionally well against each of those enterprise value drivers, and so in this instance we're saying that it's a multiple of 8. And so the rationale for that is that because the business is performing well, further growth can be expected, and so a buyer will be willing to pay a higher multiple for the business. So on the next slide, we talk about how when we're at clients, we take them on a journey, and we've got a tool that we use to diagnose a business's current state. And so in this, it's a half-day workshop we do with clients where we score the business against 36 critical success factors and the key drivers of enterprise value, which were from the previous slide. And against this, we score the key drivers and assess to the extent to which your organisation is set up for success. And importantly, what we're doing is identifying the gaps and helping you identify what needs to be done to grow the value of the business. And what we find with a lot of clients is that typically the scores are under 50% to start with, and therefore aren't in a position to be able to sell. On the slide that follows, we've got what we're trying to achieve from this workshop. And ultimately, as a business owner, you want to be making sure that you're spending as much of your precious resource, which is time, and in particular on the journey to exit, focusing on the things that have the maximum effect of enterprise value. So the things that will create the biggest uplift in valuation. So we call that the 80-20-80. So you want to be spending 80% of your time focusing on the 20% of things that would generate the 80% uplift in valuation. So on the next slide, we've got a chart which measures enterprise value against time. So currently you're at point A. You've maybe started to think about the enterprise value drivers and the things you could be doing to improve the value of your business. Then on the next slide, we've got 2 potential paths. So we've got a grey path, which is a business that increases profitability each year, and so in headline terms, people consider that business to be performing well. However, what you want to be doing and where you can get the real uplift in value is if you follow the pink line. So the pink line demonstrates the impact if you are both focusing on the enterprise value drivers, so really working on your business, so improving the multiple. Improving the multiple typically results in an uplift in profitability as well, and the combination of those two things both increasing leads to the significant increases in sale value. So typical things that people could be working on are business development effectiveness, so improving lead generation, considering and analysing the target market to improve efficiency, improving conversion rates and profit per sale. Could be incentivising key employees, making sure correcting if for instance turnover of staff is an issue, then thinking about ways that you can incentivise key employees and improve engagement. Or it could be operational efficiency, so improving job profitability. And all three of those things could lead to a significant uplift in value. And so here we then take it back to the first slide, looking at the traffic lights. And so the company has maybe moved from year 1, year 2, year 3, originally making $500,000 of profit, but with low enterprise value scores, moving all the way to year 3, where even though profits have just over doubled, the multiple has uplifted significantly. So all those greens lead to a significant jump in the enterprise value. So on this final slide here, this then shows the sale process. And so Ian mentioned at the start about the no surprises through diligence. Businesses that aren't in a very good position to sell will typically follow the grey line, and so through a sale process, buyers will chip the price, will find reasons to reduce the price based on things that come out through due diligence. Companies that have followed the pink line and have actively managed their sale process and enterprise value drivers, typically there's an uplift in price through the sale process, because sellers in that position are in a position of strength. Typically there's multiple buyers fighting over them, resulting in an auction situation. So ultimately leads to a far more successful sale process. So hopefully that's a useful overview of some of the things to consider if you're considering selling your business in the future.